still to come tonight. Perth and the Cairns Taipans in a must-win game for the Wildcats. Fans standing on their feet at John Cain Arena as Melbourne United look to make it win number 19 for the season. Shea Ili into the starting lineup, and that's as easy as you'll get for Joe Luala-Chul.
There was no worries about that shot. He could just throw it up anywhere because of the offensive rebound as Golding nearly got off on fire as well. They dodged a bullet.
This has been a shaky first 20 seconds for Brisbane.
I'm scared for Brisbane. I really am. Drewy comes a little bit more optimistic than I am, but I'm a little scared for the Bullets.
That's a nice start by Drimmick.
No, it's going to be really come down, I think, the focus of Melbourne United. If they attack this like it's a playoff game, as they try and sharpen themselves up for that, then you're right, it could get a little messy. But there's enough firepower out there for Brisbane. If they can keep that scoreboard ticking over and the defense goes to sleep, then they're in with a highly remote chance.
The Bullets last in the competition for points conceded per game. Here's Patterson. Baseline, tried to bank it home. They concede 88.5 points a game, the Brisbane Bullets.
I reckon Drewy could still get 20 against Brisbane.
See him walk up the stairs this afternoon.
Still, I reckon he could get 20.
Franks grabbed that rebound and had a foot on the line.
You know what they do, though, that was when they can put some points on the board. In their last 5 wins, they've averaged 94 points per game. So if you pay attention to them and provide them with the respect that they deserve on the defensive end, then you're in for a challenge.
The backside of that, though, Drewy, is when they don't score 90 points, they're 0-7.
That's right.
So they have to be able to get hot. As we see Shaley with a corner pocket 3. And they have to get stops to get out and be able to get some easy ones. And that man is critical, because if he gets hot, we know he follows with more in a row.
15 points on Monday, Jason Cadee, in their win over Adelaide, including the 3-ball to seal the game. He's got some big minutes ahead of him tonight. Bubba is long.
Well, that's an area of his game that really needs to pick up. We know Yudai Bubba, what he can do on the defensive end, but he's only played the 4 games and hasn't shot it well in any game as yet, as Drimmick from the Kmart logo steps in and knocks down another 3-ball.
They've scored the last 6, Brisbane. They lead it by 3. Luala-Chul got Salt up in the air. Nice take from the big man.
Great take. He was tempted by the 3. Just used a little up fake, got them out of the stance.
Jeez.
Drimmick comes down and fires in transition.
As Paul Westhead stepped into the coaching position of the Adelaide 36ers, they're up and down and just prepared to anything early. Looks like they're out here trying to run and gun and have some fun.
Well, Chris Golding will be very disappointed with the 2 wide open 3s that he's missed.
Patterson forced into a tough jumper by White. Joe Luala-Chul, 7th in the competition for points per game, 3rd in the competition for rebounds, 2nd for blocks, number 1 for green light. Misses that one.
That's a good call.
As soon as he brought that ball up the floor. Drimmick, ultra aggressive to start this one. He can't score. Bubba has White riding shotgun and missed him.
Well, he had it. The pass was there. It's a poor decision by Yudai Bubba.
Well, this is like Bubba took that 3 after 1 pass a minute ago. He's shooting 22% from the 3. And then that time is where his strengths are. Going to the basket, needs to be able to go up and finish that.
Well, pass it, White was there. Anything around 11 feet, throw it anywhere at 11 feet, Jack White will go get it. Yudai Bubba, like I said, he's now 4 of 18 on the season since he's come back. He's 4 games so far. No problems for Jason Cadee, though. In rhythm and seeing it like a hula hoop.
2 of 2 to start with. Golding ran out of room. Nice D from Lou, not to foul. And Cadee in motion, pulls up. Misses that time. It'll be a Brisbane ball from the baseline.
And that's what Cadee has to do. Any chance he gets a sniff, you see Drimmick with a nice little pass, and Cadee can get that off so quick. Just gets it above his head, lets it rip. But they're going to need him to go and get 20 tonight. And he has to play like that Matthew Dellavedova coming off the bench. No punt. Talk about a luxury.
Well, like you said, there were some doubts that he might have had some form of injury. We don't know exactly what the issue was. Jack, you might be able to fill us in. Oh, hang on. Big Lou's got to finish that. Nice pass to him around the rim. Got to use his size a bit better.
And then the Waialatua misses Peatling. Melbourne's third turnover in the first 5 minutes of the game.
Well, it's all about the three-point line. Brisbane have had 10 shots, 5 of them coming from there, and they've been good enough to knock down 3 of them.
Kadee, floater off the bank. Jason Kadee has started white hot, has 8 of Brisbane's 13.
That is a great sign for the Brisbane Bullets when Kadee comes with this sort of mindset.
Waialatua deep. 34% shooter across the season from outside. And Kadee for Lou. Beautiful pass. Lou couldn't finish. Patterson, though, well short on the 3. And the Bullets having the game on their terms early. Dellavedova, not shy. Shooting well recently. 37% across the season.
Good poise from Peatling, too. He was tempted to be able to get that, got it back to Dellavedova, get his confidence up, and good things happen for United.
Those numbers for Delly are impressive when you consider how poorly he started the season from the three-point line.
Nice little drop-off, Kadee for Robert Franks.
He is looking good, just being able to dime people up. Had a couple of assists to see the big fella. It's easy from there when you're that size and that sort of length and athleticism. But Kadee at the other end, he's been able to throw dimes everywhere. He's hitting threes, getting himself into the paint. He has to continue to be aggressive.
Good. That was aggressive. And it was only a couple of weeks ago he had back-to-back games where he was scoreless. So, how to rectify those problems.
Dellavedova guarded by Shuan Xing Lu. He wants it back. Shot clock at 7. That's out of play. Let's get caught.
Well, and they've got another, I think, a very good chance to pick up another one this season. They wouldn't be my pick at this point in time, but they are right. Sydney, and I look like a genius because I had them in the pre-season as well. So that's another reason why I'm hoping.
I can't see anybody beating Sydney in a series right now. But again, things change as the season goes on. The thing they've got in their advantage is they're taking momentum, a whole lot of confidence, and they're just set with their roles.
Yeah.
They buy into their roles. They look like they're having fun. Chase Buford's done a really good job of keeping a lid on it as well. And but like we said, you get to the end of the season and anything can happen. There's no doubt about that.
You know what surprised me as I was going through this game and reading up on some of the figures that no team, when you think of the Melbourne United winning a championship, no team since the inaugural year back in 1979 and 80, no Melbourne team has gone back-to-back. Now that's amazing. It surprised me. With all the great Melbourne teams we've seen over the years, they've been able to string them together, and Yudai Baba would breathe a bit of a sigh of relief to see that one going.
Shooting at 22% since his return to the league this year, Yudai Baba. Last season, 41, 42, 78 were his shooting numbers, so he's got a bit of work to do. That's a bit sloppy from the Bullets. Let's get down to Jenny courtside.
It might have been a turnover just then, gents, but Coach Duncan was pretty happy with these men at the start. Sometimes when you have nothing to lose, it just loosens you up, and they're playing pretty freely at the moment. He was happy with their penetration deep into the keyway and then fighting their shooters as they have been. He would just love them to clean up the D-trans a little bit more and protect the paint.
Not sure he's going to love that one.
Franks was asleep at the back line of that zone. They just went right by his head for a layup. But 24 points out of the 26 came from their 3 players, and one of them wasn't Franks. So if he starts to get hot, then good things can happen for Brisbane.
I'm not sure he's had too much of a touch. The quickness that they're playing, he's got to rely on people getting him the ball, and he needs to see a little bit more of it. He's 1 of 1 from the field. This zone has looked very porous the last couple of possessions.
Here's Bubba. Not that time, and McKinnon took off. The pressure from Bubba was just enough to force the error. Now hook Porty. Luala Chul, I should say, my apologies, wants it in the low block. And gets the roll.
Well, already in this first 2 minutes, only seen a couple of possessions for the Brisbane Bullets, but Melbourne United, they have the ability to crank up their D. And not as easy now for the Brisbane Bullets.
Well, and you see Kadee and Drimmick about to come back into the lineup. And it's hard when you've lost players, you don't have that same depth. Those guys looking to get 2 or 3 minutes at the start of the second quarter, they've lost a bit of momentum.
Illy buries the three. James Duncan has seen enough. United have turned a 3-point deficit at quarter time into a 3-point lead. There's Bubba on McKinnon.
Great hustle.
Now they look switched on, Melbourne.
They do. That's a good recovery. Yudai Bubba had to put the Jets on. And
WNBA, playing for Australia.
That's
Captain
right.
For Australia.
Yep.
I was reading, I don't know if it's Chris Anstey or someone suggesting that maybe the best six-man award should be named after Stephen Hawes, such as the impact that he had over a long period of time with a few different organisations.
Drimmick, nice cut and foul.
Really good play from Drimmick. Again, pass, looked like he was going the other way. Just got the chance to be able to face cut.
Danny Yumi.
She's in all the action right now, Danny Minot.
He is.
The firing line there, look out.
Almost getting it again.
Anthony Drimmick has 10 points on 4 of 7. Only averaging 6.5 a game this season.
That's incredible to me that he averages 6 points.
He had a tough start to the season. His shot wasn't there, and I actually think they were still trying to figure out his role with the new coach coming in. And eventually they found how to get him involved a little bit more. And the second half of the season has been far superior to his first.
Kadee downhill. Hands off to Lou. And the big man will be on the free throw line.
Big Lou's another one when you think of him and what he can give, and clearly he's not ready to be a significant role on a NBL team, but I'm sure that when you look at him and how they've tried to use him when he's in games, whether he's been put in the right positions.
What do you mean by that?
Well, a lot of the times there didn't seem to be anything specific to utilise his size. Like a certain set that you'll go to, you throw it in there, and it's just all part of it. Now, admittedly, he wasn't playing enough, so you don't want to. But just a set here or two that you're going to play, and there again, that very poor zone defence.
That looks like a zone defence that we used to play at Swan Hill.
Yeah, at Warrnambool Carnival.
Yep.
At the start of the season.
Yep.
Australia Day weekend.
Australia Day.
Yep. Stand around. No responsibility, just guarding bits of ground.
Roll it in to Luala Chul, who turns around and scores. 12 points, 7 rebounds in a quarter and a bit for JLA, and now a block to go with it. He's hunting another one here on Lou, who travels. Here's the lob from Barlow. Go back about 2 months ago, maybe even 6 weeks ago, Joe Luala Chul very firmly in the conversation for MVP. I think that talk has died down a little. Is he still an all-NBL first team?
Well, who's he up against?
I think he's a chance. I would say this. When you've got a team and a rotation like Dean Vickerman runs, it's hard to win an MVP award playing in that system, because he plays 10 guys, they share it around, and absolutely, to Dean Bigman's credit, it gives them the best chance to win. But when you've got so many stars around you, that it is a little harder in that setting sometimes to get that level of recognition. But I think he's still worthy of a first-team appearance.
Hammer, you still got him in there?
You'd have to go through player by player.
So
is he more valuable than Jarrell Martin?
Or Xavier Cooks? Or Vic Law? Or Mitch Creek? Dwight Reith? Yeah,
I mean, it's a good conversation. He's had a terrific year, and he's playing for the #1 team in the competition. So you can certainly make an argument for it, but the talent in that front court, and with some of those undersized guys, particularly that Sydney have got, you know, to go on the sort of run and have the sort of success they've had, they've got to be a chance to be able to put a hand up as well.
That'll be an unsportsmanlike foul. Jack White was in transition. Whether you like the rule or not, one thing the officials can't be confused of is not being consistent with the rule.
Well, you've got to be, if you're in a sound defensive position now, that's going to be
this is C3.
No, yeah, that's an unsportsmanlike now. I don't like, whether you like the rule or not, you're right.
I don't know what's he complaining about. Like, this rule's been in for a few years now.
Jason, please. Jason, please. I get it. I've had enough of him.
I know, but everyone has enough of him. He gets smashed every week, so he's allowed to vent some frustration.
You just can't hit someone in transition.
Righto, but he barely touches him, and then he gets smashed every game more than I've ever seen anyone in this league and gets no calls. So you've got to understand his frustration.
I hear you, yeah.
That's smart by Jason Cadee, saying, listen, I'm not going to win the argument about the offensive or the unsportsmanlike foul, but he's just alerted the official that we think that Lamar Patterson gets an unfair go down the other end. Yep. So just put that seed into his head. Very smart by Jason Cadee.
I think he argued his point well and did it the right way. White muscles in. Good score from underneath. Threw it onto the legs of Drimic and gets the ball back for Melbourne. United lead by 4. Let's get down to Jen.
Guys, I just have a question for you, Drewy, and obviously Hammer, two of the great shooters of our game. Chris Goulding, he played 5 minutes in that first quarter. We know he's averaging 26. He's just entered at the 7-minute mark. As a shooter and a player, similar to him, is it hard to get into a groove and into a pattern when you're coming in and out as much as he is? Or do you think this is an exception to the rule that they have this depth and are able to just rest him as much as they can?
Yeah, it's a good question, Jan, and I've been saying for years, I know Lynette Copeland as well, I think Chris Goulding needs a little bit more. A few more touches, a bit of momentum. It is hard coming in and out of the game, and because they do have so much depth, and I think it's, you know, Dean probably gets a little bit frustrated from some of the breakdowns on defense from Chris Goulding, but you need guys to be able to make plays. And if they're going to win a championship, they need to run with him. He needs to get lots of usage. He needs to be playing with that swagger that he has where he feels like nobody can stop him. If he doesn't play like that and he averages 12, 15 points a game, they're not winning a championship.
No, it'll be tough to see how they could do that, albeit this season they have been one of the more potent
playoffs are different, Drewy. Playoffs are different.
No, that's true. No,
they're going to need him. When they won in Perth, you could see he had that swagger, and it gives confidence to everybody else. And did he step out of bounds?
I think he did. Well, it might have been a 5-second violation. I think but either way, it's a turnover. I think for most people, getting back to Jen's question, is that for most people, you're right, you need that rhythm, you need that timing, you got to understand it. But Chris Goulding is one of those guys that can turn it on and off. Can be a little streaky.
Robert Franks blocks the shot of Jack White. Patterson pulling up. That doesn't go. Rebound Goulding, end-to-end at John Cain Arena. And Bubba had an eternity to size it up. Offensive rebound, hook Porty, excellent to Bubba. Talk about heads-up play.
Well, that's when he's at his best. Transition and being able to cut off the ball to be able to get easy ones. As Jason Cadee with a nice little floater for his first 2 points since quarter time.
3 players in double figures for Brisbane. 1 for Melbourne United. Joe Luala-Chul has 12. Dellavedova in the paint.
I spoke about Franks Probably needing a few more touches, but he's still only got 2 points. He's 1 from 2 from the field.
Okay, when they shoot the ball, reset. Yeah, I'm just
That's the cut we were talking about from Bubba. But Franks needs to tighten up in the second half.
I reckon he also would have made a point. He would have looked at the stats and thought, well, we need to find a way to get Chris Colby going as well. Get him some more looks. He's averaged 18 over the last 5 games. And you're going to keep his scoreboard ticking over. He's got to be a big part of it.
Chul off the front of the iron. He's 14 at the half. Brisbane with 1 game to come for the season. Next Saturday, they'll play in Cairns.
But they also haven't beaten Melbourne United and Cairns Taipans, the 2 teams that they have, the only 2 teams they haven't beaten. As Lamar Patterson just waltzes in for a
that's
layup.
Poor defense. That was from Bubba too. That's his strength. You've got to stay between your man and the basket. And let's be honest, Patterson isn't lightning quick.
Golding with a foot on the line. His last touch by Salt, the Melbourne ball. $12 points on 4 of 9 for Lamar Patterson. Golding off the inbound. And Jack White couldn't drag that rebound in.
Here you go.
Melbourne have the chance to finish top 2 years in a row. The last time that happened was part of that great New Zealand team of 11, 12 and 13. They finished top 3 years in a row. Chance to be there again. Patterson coming out aggressive. Not that time though. At Illy starting today with Dellavedova coming off the bench, and Bubba forces Drimmick into a foul.
Drimmick's got a case right there too. Looked like it was all ball. Have a better look at it here.
Bubba he was the one making the contact by leaning in.
And then he just fell over.
Drimmick just
a little bit like that.
Sliding in. That's a 50-metre penalty now in the AFL.
What's that?
Any sort of wave your hand
Gesturing.
or pull a funny face, and
What is next thing we do here?
I think there's a balance in there somewhere. I think, seriously, I think this year, whether it's the coaches and the players, it's got to a point where they might need to bring it back in a little bit, because it's not a great look. And when you look at the numbers in sports and trying to get officials at all levels, and they see the way that they're being treated here, and hey, they make some mistakes, but I don't think any of them are intentional mistakes.
So how do you do that? Is it fines? Is it making an example out of a couple of the higher profile coaches? How do you do
Well,
that?
the way they do it is technical fouls.
Wala Chul. Forced one there over the top of Salt. Patterson has started well in this third quarter. Drimmick turns the corner, the spin, and then tried to score with the left hand and couldn't. Bubba in transition. There's Wala Chul. Melbourne back in front. Wala Chul with his 10th double-double of the season, and now has a block to throw into that box score as well.
And this is how Melbourne get themselves going. When they get stops at the defensive end, they get the ball out quick, get to the races and score the ball at such a high percentage.
He runs the floor so well, Wala Chul. That time there gets the reward for that effort. And down the other end, aggressive, helping out, blocking shots, diving on balls. And you need someone in these types of moments to set that example, provide that spark, and so far it's been Wala Chul doing that. And he's up to 16 points, 8 of 15 from the field.
Bravo!
Yudai Bubba, his 5th game of the season. Championship winner with this team last year.
He's come back in and averaging close to 19 minutes a game in 4 games so far. So Dean Vickerman really showing a lot of confidence in Yudai Bubba to get him into the rotation.
I thought it was an interesting call, bring Bubba in instead of an import, though. They've got an import spot up their sleeve. You know, Bubba's familiar. He's won a championship, so they know him. He knows the system. He knows the league. He's had success here. But he's not that import player that's going to be able to take over a game if other people are kept down as well, that they may need come the playoffs.
Yeah, I can see both sides of it, and I could also see if you're him, if you're Dean Vickerman and their coaching staff, and you're saying, well, things are going well. We're on top of the ladder, and only lost 7 games all season. Do we want to bring in someone that might be a little bit more disruptive and change the roles of others more significantly?
Look at the athleticism of Jack White to drag in that O board. And there he is again. Didn't get the tip to go. Patterson downhill. No foul called, first or second time. Third tip doesn't go.
He had 3.5 goes at it. And again, Shea Ely on that first attempt, just the speed in which he can get back in front. When his guy's got his shoulders past you, your ability to slide your feet and get back in front just to intimidate that shot, that is not easy to do, and that's elite defending by Shea Ely.
49 apiece. Golding 1 of 6 this afternoon. He walks. Great D from Jason Kadee.
Really stagnant against this 1-2-2 zone. You see, that's the defense you were talking about, Drewy. Shea Ely, one of the best in the business in the NBL. Look at Patterson. Has 3 cracks at it. He gets it again, and that's the travel. I'm not sure there's any argument there. No.
Ely stole it away.
Oh, didn't need a Euro.
He did.
He had a layup.
Drimmick in the corner. He's off target. Bubba comes up with it for Melbourne United. And draws a foul.
Really is quick in transition. And that's good play. He was always going to draw that foul. Gets himself to the free throw line. Both teams really struggling to be able to score at the start of this third quarter. 33% for Melbourne United at the offensive end. They're really coughing and spluttering on offense. Only 6 from 23 from the three-point line as well. And the Brisbane Bullets at 37% from the field.
Melbourne last in the competition for free throws this season, shooting at just 70% from the stripe. They tick so many boxes, Melbourne. They're top 3 in so many stats. That's an outlier for them. Lou from the foul line. That looked nice.
That did. And that's not a shot in that technique that you would necessarily be encouraging him to do that all that often, but time, had plenty of space and knocks it down.
Brisbane back in front by 1. Continual lead changes at John Cain Arena. Luala Chul, no one had a body on him. Tips it in. 18 and 12, his numbers. A couple of blocks to go with that. Franks with a hand in the face.
He needs to start trying to make it a few more things happening. He's 3 from 5 from the field, but 5 field goal attempts isn't enough for somebody like Franks that's been so good at the offensive end this year.
It's a combination, like we said, is maybe him, but I also think they need to do a better job of making a target out of him.
Now Kadee goes bang at the other end. Brisbane have scored the last 5. They lead it by 4. Shuan Xing Lu Looks to be in severe discomfort.
This is the last thing that they need. Well, anyone wants to see, but certainly when you look at the injuries and the stage of the season, this is a real concern for the big fella.
So he hobbled up the court. That trip down the floor for Brisbane. Just in the background, we could see Lou hobbling. And then after the Kadee basket was made, he hit the floor. We'll take a look at it in a moment, but he's in a lot of pain right now.
Just have a look at it. Well, that's
knee on knee.
Yeah,
that's the good thing.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That's probably an encouraging thing to see because it didn't look like a twist.
Yeah.
Watching here, he goes to take off and
to be taking Daly out of the game, I would have thought. I said before, the Brisbane Bullets fans will be happy if they can see their team get a win, but people cheering hardest right now. Sydney Kings fans and their players will be sitting there watching here, barracking for the Brisbane Bullets.
Oh dear.
As they get a little cheapy there, maybe.
Ariel Hukporti says no. Illy lays it up.
Brilliant.
Tied away at 69.
4-point play, because that should have been 2 down the other end. Instead, good scrambling action by Melbourne United and Shea Illy doing Shea Illy type things.
And Patterson draws the foul. There's Ariel Hukporti.
Just saved her. Certain 2. And
Let's do it, 2.
that's pretty easy by Shea Illy. No one coming to him in that transition.
Averaging 16 points a game this season, Lamar Patterson. 4 rebounds, 4 assists.
What do you think, Drewy? He'll be in the league next year?
It's going to be an interesting one. I think it's a big decision they have to make. And
no, I don't mean, let's say he's not with Brisbane. Is anyone else picking him up next year?
Possibly. I think possibly because of his experience, and you're always looking at the upside. And I think a lot of it will come down to the economics of it. But if the economics is right, I think that there'd be teams where you're entitled to have 3 imports that would have a look at him. He played in the off-season here last season up in the NBL 1 North.
They played with the Spartans in NBL 1, yeah. Wonder if he'll stick around and try and do something similar.
Well, I'm not sure it helped him, did it?
Baba.
I think it did. A little bit.
Golding pulls the trigger on a 3. Jack White soars above everyone else. Offensive rebound and then the foul.
Eight from 35 from the 3-point line. Melbourne United, 22%. Despite the fact they're going to have to make some threes to be able to get over the line right here. More pressure on Melbourne United. Brisbane are just playing free.
They've kept Brisbane to a reasonable number.
White does it again for Golding. Got it!
That's what he's capable of doing. Even when he hasn't been involved in those big moments, has the ability to step up and make big shots.
A turnover. Shea Illy has been immense at the defensive end of the floor. Golding, it's going up. Doesn't get that one to stick.
And you live with that shot.
Absolutely.
You make that last 3. He was 2 from 8 before that shot. Starting to feel it. That's the sort of player he is, to be able to make 2 in a row. It didn't happen that time, but you love the confidence.
Patterson's pass deflected out of bounds. Shea Illy, 5 steals, 5 assists. Nine points to go with it as well. Timeout with 3.5 minutes remaining. Melbourne, who are the best fourth quarter team in the competition, are going to need every bit of that to record their 19th win of the season. So we head inside the Brisbane camp.
Tanner, you're cutting hard to the corner, all right? LP, give him a look. There's nothing there. You guys are coming to screen. Jace, you're coming over the top like this. If he plays you over the top, you're going to cut back door, all right? Nelson 4, all right? Good. Once that's happening, when we go thumb down, this is going to be our Spain action. Thumb down is our Spain action, all right? Guard is here. 5 is sending the own ball. Guard is sending the back screen for the 5-man rolling to the basket. All right, thumb down. Nelson 4 here.
First season in charge, James Duncan. Previously with the Sydney Kings as their lead assistant. It's been a challenging first year for him. The Bullets have probably just about any team in the competition. When COVID hit the Bullets, it absolutely tore through them. And every team has had their challenges this year. I'm sure they would have loved to have had more than 12 games out of Nathan Sobey as well. Golding did well not to give away his last foul. Here he is up top, wide open.
That's what you can't afford. I don't care what the numbers. He can be 0 from 50. You still need to guard him in these big moments, and that time, defensive breakdown and your priorities.
Number 1 in the competition for 3 balls made. Patterson relocates to the corner. That's well short.
It's exactly what Chris Golding does. He can be cold for the majority of the night and then just go bang, bang at a stage and open the game up. That's why they need to get him involved early. You know, he missed a couple of open shots at the start of the game, but they sort of went away from him, and he really needs a whole lot of usage and opportunities. You see him trying to go to the block now.
There it is. That is just a complete breakdown. Whether there was a miscommunication, whether they're in their zone or man, of the 2 guys guarding the ball, and Golding, that's as easy as he'd want to ever get.
Let's get down to Jenny courtside.
Just coming out of the timeout with Dean Bickerman, it was made clear that they wanted to get the ball to Chris Golding, which is nice to see. They followed suit. He's had a nice couple of looks. We've seen the 3 drain as well. But I want to talk about the guys that are getting it done as well, the glue guys. Illy, you've mentioned as well. Jack White, his stat line isn't that great, if we're being honest, but he's had a huge rebound to change the momentum, and he gave that Golding that 3, gentlemen, as well.
5 offensive rebounds for Jack White. Thank you, Jen.
It's on the other end that Patterson got that wide open 3 ball, but we've been talking about the entire night. I think we've erred on not trying to find ways to get Franks involved more. He got the 7 shots, 10 points, 4 of 7. He's got 9 boards.
8 unanswered points for Melbourne United. Drimmick for 3. He's gone a little cold in this last quarter. Things starting to slip away from the Brisbane Bullets.
Yeah, it's uphill running now for the Bullets.
Illy, downhill. Helped in by the Walatul. 10 unanswered points. Kadee fires away. That's hit the side of the backboard. It's starting to unravel late for the Bullets. As gallant as they've been. Patterson picks up his 3rd.
Look at Shea Illy, just beautiful ball fake. And might have even been a claim for an N1 there. But he's been fantastic in this one.
Equal biggest lead in the game right now.
And you talk about the things he's done, like Jim's doing, you look at his stat line, Shea Illy, he's 3 of 12 from the field, but it undersells all the other stuff. He's got the 6 assists and those little hustle plays. He seems to be able to come up with the ball where others can't. And tonight he's been able to make an enormous contribution, albeit that he hasn't shot the ball that well.
Well, he's got 5 steals. Brisbane have only got 3 as a team.
Not that long ago, Brisbane led by 1. In the space of a quick couple of minutes, they trail by 10, or that'll help their cause from Anthony Dribbing. Now they need stops. Any foul from here on in will put Melbourne on the line. Franks almost came up with it. And Illy underneath for Lawala Chul, and 1.
It's going to look like a regulation win, but it was anything but that. They've had to find a way down the stretch, and it's really only been in the last 3 minutes that they've broken this game open, Melbourne United. And Chris Goulding came in and had a huge impact. And that's the beauty of someone like Chris Goulding. He doesn't need a lot of time in order to make a very significant contribution, because he's not going to get scared at the moment. And this was one of those games where the moment was getting a little bit tougher for Melbourne United as Ding just blazes away, pushing the back, goes underwater. But Chris Goulding being able to make those big shots, Hammer. Big time.
What he does. He's a big-time player.
Breaks the game open.
The last minute of this one, Trimmick got a hand in the passing lane, and then Illy threw it out of bounds. United will play Monday against the Cairns Taipans at home, John Cain Arena. And we'll finish off hosting the Jack Jumpers.
Well, if Perth don't behave themselves, that last game could be a very, very significant game.
Well, keep in mind too, Drew, that Perth have got Illawarra and South East Melbourne in the last round.
Stop switches!
Albeit, Tasmania have got the Phoenix and United.
And you suspect that those games for Melbourne United are going to be live games as far as their positioning and trying to finish on top of the ladder. So they're not going to get the benefit of United putting the cue in the rack, getting ready for the playoffs.
Ding got his money's worth. Foul. Illy will walk to the other end of the floor to shoot free throws. The crossover coming up next. I believe it's a little milestone or something that might be celebrated on the crossover tonight as well. So
there's a bit going on, is there?
Stay tuned.
Oh. Like a
Pittman,
birthday type.
Is that all you're going to give us?
Damon Lowry?
Oh, Damon Lowry.
That's a bit of craft, Hammer. That's a tease.
Anniversary.
Well, don't tease me.
Anniversary of his 3 free throws that bounced 700 times and had no business going in, that eventually went. I wouldn't know. I'm just trying to come up with what it possibly could be.
All I know is that there's balloons. And then as soon as the gang finish up on the crossover, it's Perth and Cairns at RAC Arena.
They need to bounce back too, Perth. Okay. 4.5.
Goulding fouled by Patterson. I'm not sure why.
Nice cheeseburger just for the ride home.
88-79. Melbourne solidify their spot on top of the table. They did it the hard way tonight.
Well, they did. They had to work for it. Brisbane Bullets came out all guns blazing, playing really up-tempo, but as we suspected, their ability to play at that level the entire game was always going to be in question, and they just weren't able to do it. And in the end, Melbourne United, they just kept it ticking over. What, they had 45 at half-time, so they basically had similar halves, and Brisbane Bullets not able to keep that firepower and that offensive pressure, and their numbers started to taper. They only ended up at 27% from the three-point line after a blistering start, so it just fell away for them, but we give them full credit. Full credit for playing it out, not a lot to play for, and found a way to make this game more competitive than what most people would have thought before the tip.
27-18 in the last quarter. Was enough to see Melbourne home.
But we said Dean Vickerman be turning up the defence in the second half. They did exactly that to hold Brisbane Bullets. It's only 79 points.